Hey guys, we are back with day 12 results, and we are going to be talking about bone broth and then how I've been feeling taking bone broth, some of the pros, and then the cons. We're going to start with the cons real quick because it's a very short list. The cons, pretty much from what I've seen, are the potential for heavy metal toxicity. If the animals that you source your bones from have been raised on soil that is high in heavy metals, especially like lead in particular. So something to be aware of, keep in mind. My husband and I plan to try and avoid this definitely in the future by just raising more of our own. Like we're working on raising beef right now, and hopefully we'll be getting into potentially sheep and then possibly, but this is like way future, but possibly some poultry and some pork as well. So yeah, just be aware of that when you're sourcing your bones. And the simmer time also matters when it comes to that. The longer you simmer, the more it's going to pull out of those bones and like cartilage and anything in the broth. It's going to extract it. But if you simmer a shorter time, you still get some of the positive benefits of the bone broth without, the likelihood of having as many of those heavy metals and toxins in the same broth. So, short simmer time is like between 1 and 3 hours for poultry, 2 to 4 hours for your beef or lamb bones, stuff like that. So you can be aware of that and kind of use that as you will. And now we're going to get into the positives, which is a lot longer list. Not super long. Anyway, minerals, lots and lots of minerals, including like potassium and magnesium, two of the ones you need to balance your electrolytes. It's got collagen, which is full of good amino acids, great for your body in all kinds of ways, especially like your ligaments, bones, tendons, the cartilage, all of that. Super good for that. And your skin, all those things are really good. Amino acids are like building blocks for so many different things. So you're doing well if you get good sources of amino acids in your diet as well. And then big one for me is it could potentially aid in sleep. I personally think that I've seen this benefit while using bone broth. I probably take bone broth an average of maybe 3 times a week, about every other day. And I notice on the days that I drink it before bed, I sleep really well, guys. So it's just something to consider. The sleep, it has to do with one of the amino acids in it called glutamine. Glutamine breaks down into 2 components. One is glutamate and the other one is GABA. I don't know if it's pronounced GABA or what, but GABA is the other one. It's an acronym for a longer word that I don't know yet. Can't say. So yeah. And so the only other con then would be if you're sensitive to glutamate, then you might want to be careful. So if you're someone who avoids like monosodium glutamate in products, this might be, something to be aware of when thinking about using bone broth, because glutamine in the bone broth will break down into those 2. And especially if you're getting glutamate in other forms, it's in a lot of products in the grocery store, virtually every other like packaged broth or soup. You will see it in a lot of different seasonings, just in a lot of different stuff, because it adds flavor. It gives like a good, rich, like meaty kind of flavor to the food. So it gets added, but monosodium glutamate is synthetic. And so if you're taking the bone broth, it's not synthetic, but it is still glutamate. So you still might have to be careful if you're sensitive. I have not noticed any sensitivities to it. And even if you are concerned about that, you could start, if you want to, with trying a bone broth that has been simmered for the shorter simmer time of like 1 to 3 hours versus longer. And then what I was seeing on the charts is like the slow simmer time, you're getting like 1/3 to 1/4 the amount as in the longer simmer time. So like that long simmer bone broth is going to have 3 to 4 times the amino acids and minerals and everything else that shorter simmer time has. So again, same thing as with the heavy metals, apply it to the glutamate as well. But that glutamate and then the GABA, they work in unison to try and help your brain function properly, particularly as it relates to sleep. So you need both of them in your body naturally, but you just want to be careful if you have a sensitivity. Okay, I've been noticing it's been great for me. I'm loving it. So I'm going to keep taking it. I may, cut back on the amount depending on how much I need or whatnot, but right now I am loving it. And I really think my hair, skin, and nails have always been super weak. So I personally think that my body probably needs all of that it can get. So I'm going to keep using that, and maybe I'll see some results and I can share this with you guys. But that is all I've got for you today. I'm feeling good still, no big changes. Just wanted to talk about bone broth because it's been so nice for me. But I'll let you guys go. Have a great night. Bye, friends.